You are Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, away we go. The Celtics, if you recall, roughed up the Knicks on opening night. That night, Boston hit 29 three-pointers. They did not hit 29 three-pointers tonight, but much like that night, the Celtics blow out the Knicks again. Final score at the Garden, 131-104. And a big reason why Boston was so successful tonight, Jayson Tatum, the stone-cold killer, pumped in a game-high 40. Jalen Brunson had 36 to lead New York, but obviously it wasn't enough. The rivals will meet again in 2 weeks up in Boston. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. Happy to have you. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Again, glad you're aboard. Follow me on X as well, at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Knicks postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Knicks game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, the captain once again played like an all-star. Of course, he's an all-star starter, but he was about it. As we said, Brunson had 36, but not nearly enough. Josh Hart, next up, had 17. How about Karl-Anthony Towns night? He pumped in 9 total points on 3 field goals for Karl-Anthony Towns. We'll break it all down. It was a blowout, and the Celtics beat the Knicks once again. All that coming up on the postcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your very first purchase. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. All right, as we said, it was an ugly scene at the Garden. Another blowout loss at the hands of the Boston Celtics, 131-104, as the Knicks get wiped away, and much of the damage in the first and third quarters, respectively. Of course, Boston out to a quick start. In fact, they opened the game on a 16-4 run. The Knicks missed their first 10 shots from the field. It took them nearly 5 minutes to get a field goal. The 16-4 run obviously put New York in a big hole. However, that lead would shrink down to 3 in the third quarter. But again, that's as close as the Knicks would get. Back up to 20-plus for the second half of the third quarter. Boston outscored the Knicks in the first, 30-19. They outscored the Knicks in the third, 35-28, 2 fateful quarters. And obviously, late in the fourth, Boston outscored the Knicks as well. Again, 134-104. It's the 10th loss at home this season for the Knicks. They're now 18-10, 34-18 overall. Now, they entered play tonight a game and a half behind the Celtics for the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, it's now down to 2.5 behind Boston. With the loss, Boston's 37-16, and folks, they are a killer away team. They are now 21-6 away from Boston. As we said, 2 huge runs. The 16-4 run to start the game put the Knicks in an early double-digit hole. Now, the third quarter run, the second half of the third quarter, was a 19-3 run. Here's how things went. Knicks were trailing by 13 early third quarter. About midway through the third quarter, Knicks got it all the way down to 3 like that. It went back up to 20, and eventually the Knicks would lose by 27. So again, 2 huge runs, 16-4 to start the game, 19-3 back end of the third quarter, and because of it, the Knicks walk out of their home arena with a loss. As we said, Jayson Tatum pumped in a game-high 40, his second 40-point performance of the night. He played 37 minutes tonight, obviously could have played more, especially in the fourth quarter when he sat for most of that stanza on that 40-point number. He pumped in 19 in the third quarter alone. Again, that third quarter was a wild roller coaster of emotions. As we said, at one point, the Knicks were down 13. Then they were down 3. Then they were down 20, all in the span of roughly 6 to 7 game minutes played, all inside the third quarter. So again, 16-4 run to start, 19-3 in the third quarter, and that was pretty much it. Tatum scored 19 in the third quarter, as we said, his most in any quarter this season. We saw it from LeBron exactly a week ago. There's something about Madison Square Garden that puts a target on your back if you're a Knick. And that's exactly what happened against the Lakers a week ago. LeBron, a triple-double. No surprise there. His fourth career triple-double in MSG. Tonight, Jayson Tatum had a whale of a night. 40 points, 7 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and just 1 turnover. We'll get to the numbers in a minute. But again, a wonderful performance from Jayson Tatum. As we said, a week after LeBron dominated, tonight it was Jayson Tatum. In fact, the only other Celtic with at least 20 points was Peyton Pritchard in 27 minutes off the bench, connected on 6 3-pointers, had 25. Not only that, he led all players in plus-minus tonight with plus 29. On the flip side, what a brutal night for Precious Achiuwa, was a minus 37. One of the highest numbers or lowest numbers of the season for the Knicks. Again, Precious, a minus 37. He played 33 minutes, scored 3 points, 1 field goal, had just 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Not a single double-double tonight from any Knick. In fact, Precious scored 3. Mikal Bridges scored 11. Karl Anthony Towns, as we told you, had 9 total points. As for Brunson, obviously, he was stellar once again. 36 for the captain, including 13 of 13 from the free throw line. Believe it or not, when the Knicks got down to 3, one of the big reasons, if not the reason, was the play of Brunson, specifically at the line. As we said, the Knicks had just 35 field goals made, 13 free throws, so a third free throws from Jalen Brunson. Again, they hit 35 field goals, and Brunson had 13 free throws on his own. Knicks continue to impress, at the very least, from the line. Tonight, they were 25 of 29. As for the three-point goals, we told you at the top of the show, if you recall, opening night in Boston, Celtics raised a banner, then tied an NBA record with 29 three-pointers made. Well, tonight, a little shy of that, but still effective nonetheless. 19 of 39 from three-point land. That's 49%. The three-point defense for the Knicks, just not there. And as long as the Celtics are chucking up 43s a night and making basically half of them, well, you're not going to beat that team. 7 three-pointers from Jayson Tatum, 4 from Derek White, and 6 from Peyton Pritchard. So 17 of the 19 three-pointers between those 3 players. The only other three-pointers were Al Horford and Sam Hauser. 3 guys made 17 three-pointers combined. Knicks defense was terrible tonight. Again, they let up 131 points. Celtics, 46 of 85 from the floor for 54%. Flip that around to the bottom part of the box score where the Knicks reside. 42% from the floor, 35 of 83. And again, the numbers just not good enough. Obviously, tonight, the Knicks missed OG Anunoby. Celtics did not miss Kristaps Porzingis, old friend KP, a late scratch after contacting an illness. So perhaps a flu bug going around. Again, Kristaps Porzingis, the late scratch due to illness. Now, Boston opened the season, if you recall, that's when they were red hot, 16-3 to open the season. Before tonight, since the 16-3 start, the Celtics were 20-13, so they've cooled off. They're now 21-13 after the blowout win tonight. Again, the Knicks missed their first 10 shots from the field. We've got assists to turnover ratios to look at. We'll talk about Karl Anthony Towns. The bench, kind of invisible tonight. What else is new? A theme from pretty much most of the season so far. It's the dog days of the NBA. We see it in baseball in July and August, specifically after the All-Star break. Well, we're in that spot in the NBA, the dog days of winter, if you will, and the Knicks are right there. Hot start, need to get back into it, and the Knicks will try and do so on Tuesday in Indianapolis in their next game against the Pacers. We'll get to the schedule coming up. Again, a quick break. We'll do the numbers on the other side. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from the first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Now, Robinhood Financial LLC, a member of SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. All right, segment number 2 of the show as the Celtics and Knicks met in primetime at Madison Square Garden. It did not go well for the hometown Knickerbockers. They fall 131-104. Knicks now 34-18, 18-10 at home, and 2.5 games now behind the Celtics for the 2 spot in the Eastern Conference. We'll get to the standings coming up. All right, we told you the last couple of weeks how impressive, especially since OG went out, how impressive Mikal Bridges has been. Again, single-digit amount of players have played every game so far. He's one of them. 9 players in the league have started every game. Bridges has done so. In fact, you all know the story by now. Since he entered the league, Mikal Bridges has never missed a game. Literally, never missed a game. He is the NBA's Iron Man. All right, OG Anunoby once again out with a sore, sprained right foot. However, it does not seem like he's so far away, which is good news. Tibbs said before the game that he's closer than we might expect. Take it for what it's worth. Hopefully we'll see OG soon. Knock on wood. OG, since the trade, we've told you about how successful the Knicks have been with him in the lineup. 52-20 in games that OG has played since the trade to the Knicks. They're now 15-15 without him. So they are a 500 team without OG Anunoby. What's interesting is that up until tonight, Precious Achiuwa had been playing quite well, actually. Very much a formidable foe underneath the glass and in the paint. Tonight, things changed on both ends of the court. Precious, non-existent 3-point night in 33 minutes, but more specifically, defensively, was porous. That's why those numbers across the board for Boston are so good. Remember, they had just 2 players score at least 20. We told you about 40 from Tatum, and again, Peyton Pritchard with his 6 3-pointers had 25 points. So again, with no OG tonight, the Knicks are a 500 team. 500 teams don't beat Jayson Tatum and the Celtics. Knicks will have to change that. As for Mitchell Robinson, we told you OG might be approaching what we all consider close to returning. As for Mitchell Robinson, still no timetable for his return from the left ankle surgery, though we told you last week that the center was cleared for contact this week in practice, which is great news. Hopefully we can get Mitchell Robinson back at some point soon. We told you about campaign's 14 points. Knicks had just 28 off the bench tonight. However, that will raise their season average because the team with the fewest points per game from the bench, your New York Knickerbockers, at 21 points per game off the bench. They got 28 tonight out of 3 players. 14 from campaign. Deuce McBride had 8 in 35 minutes. Deuce with a big night. And then Landry Shamet, he had a couple of field goals in just 5 minutes of play. He had 6 points. But again, Brunson 36, Josh Hart had 17. Not a single Knick was in double figures in either rebounds or assists. Jalen Brunson did not have a rebound, dished out 5 assists. Meanwhile, Karl-Anthony Towns had 9 and 9. 9 points and 9 rebounds. We told you about 39 double-doubles in 47 games. Well, he has not been there for a while now. Perhaps the sore knee. He, of course, was listed as probable. We found out right at the same time that we found out Kristaps Porzingis was out that, believe it or not, Towns was downgraded from probable to questionable. Now, still means he played, and he did exactly that. But they're claiming a sore left knee. Also, of course, the right thumb. So he's beat up. As we said, dog days of winter, specifically right around the All-Star break. Now, of course, the Knicks still have 2 more games before the All-Star break. So, you know, they have to keep their focus on Indiana and then Atlanta. Back-to-back games, Tuesday and Wednesday, before a week off for the All-Star break. All right, Jayson Tatum, 19 in the third, 40 total, and the Celtics are now 37-16 and 21-6 away. All right, as for the standings, well, as we said, the Knicks are now 2.5 behind the Celtics for the second seed in the Eastern Conference. As we said, the Celtics are 37-16, now 5.5 behind the Cavaliers, who are in the top spot in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks were a 1.5 behind Boston entering the day, so they're now 2.5 back of Boston at 34-18. And again, the Knicks are 18-10 at home. We'll do the schedule coming up. The Knicks have given up at least 100 points in 19 of their last 21 games. In fact, those 2 games, well, one was against Brooklyn on January 21st, a 99-95 win. And also in Orlando, late December, 108-85. Besides those 2 games, the last 21 have featured the Knicks opponent with at least 100 points. So again, need to tighten up things on defense, which, of course, is Coach Thibodeau's forte. So we'll have to wait and see as for adjustments if the Knicks can get that done. Minutes per game, we talk about it every night. Time for the minutes police. The Knicks have the top 2 minutes getters per game in the NBA. 39 minutes a game for Bridges, 38 minutes a game for Hart. Precious played 33 tonight. Karl-Anthony Towns played 28. 34 for Bridges, 36 for Brunson. Josh Hart played 38. So despite the fact that it got out of hand, didn't really get out of hand until the fourth quarter. Late stages of the third is when things got back up to 20, but you still have the entire fourth quarter. Once you get into the meat of the fourth quarter and things are slipping, then you can understand where garbage time comes in. As for the assist-to-turnover ratio, absolutely horrible tonight. Knicks dished out just 16 assists. They had 9 turnovers. Contrast that with the Boston Celtics numbers, not great either. They had 21 assists to 10 turnovers. So considering the shooting from Boston, not tremendous defense on either side. All right, we'll take a break. We got to do the schedule. Again, 2 more games before the All-Star break, and we'll do that coming up next. Looking for tickets to your next big event? Whether it's a concert, a comedy show, or a sports game, finding the right ticket at the right price can be a headache. But with Game Time Picks, it's never been easier. Let me tell you how it works. With Game Time Picks, the app does all the hard work for you. It curates the best deals so you don't have to waste time searching through endless ticket listings. The curated deals make it super simple to find great tickets at a great price. No more sifting through thousands of options. I recently grabbed a super deal for a prime seat, and I couldn't believe the value. It was a straight up steal. The seat view feature is a game changer. Before I even hit buy, I can see exactly what my seat will look like in the venue. It's very reassuring. And the best part, you're covered with Game Time's lowest price guaranteed. If you find a better deal somewhere else, they'll refund 110% of the difference. Plus, your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time with easy cancellation options if something comes up. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, final segment of the show. After a ugly effort against the Boston Celtics, specifically defensively. Knicks lost by 27, 131-104. At one point in the early stages of the third quarter tonight, the Knicks trail by 13. You figure it's touch and go. Could go either way. Well, it went the good way. Down to 3 was that deficit. However, it then went the opposite direction. From 3 up to 20, and then the fourth quarter happened, and it was all over. 131-104. As we said, Jayson Tatum, 13 of 26 from the floor, 7 of 14 from 3. Also hit 7 free throws, grabbed 6 rebounds, dished out 4 assists, had just 1 turnover. If I had told you that Jaylen Brown would score 12, Al Horford would score 5, and not much off the bench besides Peyton Pritchard, you'd probably tell me the Knicks would at least be close, if not win the game. Well, that's not what happened. Knicks defense was poor, and they could not get out of their own way. As we said, Knicks dished out 16 assists. 5 from Jalen Brunson was the high. Even Josh Hart, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, but 3 turnovers. And the Knicks struggled again from 3, 9 of 24 from three-point land. All right, let's do the schedule now. As we said, 2 more games before the All-Star break, Tuesday and Wednesday, back-to-back with travel in between. They're in Indianapolis Tuesday night at 7:30 to face the Pacers. They're also home the following night at the Garden against the Atlanta Hawks. Of course, the Knicks beat the Hawks the last time they saw them back in January. But again, prior to that, Atlanta had their number. So Indiana on Tuesday, Atlanta on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, February 12th is the last game before the All-Star break for the Knicks. They do not play again until Thursday, February 20th, when they come out of the All-Star break that Thursday against the Chicago Bulls at home. But no rest for the weary. Thursday and Friday night versus Chicago on Thursday, at Cleveland Friday, and then Sunday, the 23rd, back in Boston. As we told you at the top of the show, the Knicks will face the Celtics again on December 23rd. That is a 1 p.m. Eastern time game up in Boston. So just 2 weeks off before the Knicks get the Celtics again. with eyes on some revenge. All right, we told you about Deuce McBride, who played 35 minutes off the bench tonight, was just 1 of 8 from the floor. That one basket was a three-pointer. He did get to the line 5 times, 5 of 5 from the line, but again, minuses up and down the board. Precious, as we told you, was a minus 37. Josh Hart, who, of course, is the heart and soul of the defense for the Knicks, minus 31. Really some astronomically low numbers on the plus minus. Minus 37 for Precious, minus 26 for Cat. Brunson was minus 19. Josh Hart was minus 31. And obviously goes hand in hand. You lose by 27 points, the plus minus numbers are going to be horrible. But again, just one game. But the Knicks have now been blown out at home by several good opponents. Oklahoma City, and obviously Boston now. Makes you wonder. They did play well in that Eastern Conference home swing where they went 4-1, including wins against Denver, Memphis, and Sacramento. However, they have been blown out at home. They were blown out by Oklahoma City, and obviously blown out by the Lakers last week, and now blown out by the Celtics tonight. All right, your favorite podcast, well, now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. Also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Knicks, the All-Stars, Gavin Shaw and Alex Wolf. Again, they handle all the stuff at Locked On Knicks, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Again, 131-104. The Knicks smacked around by the Boston Celtics. And again, thanks to Jayson Tatum. Played 37 minutes, had 40 points, 6 rebounds, 7 three-pointers. Played like the star that he is. Jalen Brown chipped in with 12. Derek White had 17. The Knicks, of course, were led by Jalen Brunson, who had 36 in the loss. Knicks now 34-18, 18-10 at home. And again, Tuesday night for the Pacers in Indianapolis. We'll see you then.